lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels normal, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the Midday Racing League. We are live here from Martinsville Speedway for 140 laps of door-banging action here. Getting ready for qualifying here. We see the 49 car out on the racetrack. That's William Baker. Rick Helms, fastest in practice. We'll see what he can get done. Helms won the last time we were out on a short track. Got the job done at Richmond in dominating fashion. No cautions in that race, and he didn't really let up from the get-go. Fastest in practice by about 2/10. We'll see if he keep that momentum rolling for him. Rick Helms currently sits on the pole with a 1986 Craig Davidson out there as well. William Baker just getting out onto the racetrack. Looks like we'll have 9 ready to rock and rumble here at the world's fastest paperclip. Martinsville, often referred to as the paperclip because of the hard hairpin corners and long straightaways, huge braking zones. 49 goes up wide there, touches the wall just a little bit. That's going to take away his qualifying lap there for the second time. Christian Ruse going to get onto the racetrack. Only 3 drivers have put down a lap thus far. That's Rick Helms on the pole, Craig Davidson, and William Baker. Ruse locks up hard on the left side, has to slide all the way up, almost hits the wall, doesn't quite hit it, but not what you want to see. First time on the brakes here at Martinsville. First lap good enough for third, as he's only the 3rd driver to put down an actual lap. William Baker touched the wall both times, wasn't able to get a lap down, but we'll see if Christian Ruse is able to improve from the top 3 spot. Gets a stout exit off of turn 4, crosses the line, improves his lap. Matt Sisler jumps up into 3rd place. He's out of the racetrack right now. See if he can improve on his 2nd lap. .20.05 for the 2nd time around for Matt Sisler. That keeps him in 3rd place, but just under 2/10 off of Rick Helms' fast lap for the qualifying session. That's got Rick Helms on the pole. Go ahead and show you guys Rick Helms' qualifying run that's got him sitting on the pole so far. Shifting down into 3rd to rotate in the center of the corner. That's pretty interesting there for Rick Helms as the qualifying session's just coming to an end here. This guy's getting ready to grid up. We've got 9 of Friday's best ready to get it done here at the Paperclip, Martinsville Speedway. Appreciate everybody who's tuning in so far. No, it's pretty early for us, but we've got ourselves some fantastic action. 9 of the best short track racers about ready to get it done here at Martinsville. 140 laps. That could either fly by or really be a detriment for some of these guys. It kind of depends on where you're at. 140 laps, 75% fuel, so 1 pit stop will be necessary to make it to the end on fuel. However, you got a couple extra sets of tires in the pits. So if cautions come out, you might want to be able to, or you might want to take those sets of tires to have the fresh rubber advantage. But that's going to be tough if we don't get a caution, much like we saw at Richmond, which went caution-free. Unable to bring you that race live from Sim Racing Media, but that went caution-free. Rick Helms got the win. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out if cautions come out. I know tires are going to be a factor, but if we stay green this whole time, I think 1 pit stop, 1 green flag pit stop is all you're going to have the luxury to make. Matt Sisler joining up. We're waiting on just 1 more to get ready to start this race, get the engines fired. Got about 10 seconds for him to get up in here to see if he can get joined up for the race. If not, he's going to have to start from the pit lane if he's going to be able to start. It's Nick Atwood in the 23, and as we're past 2 minutes Griding time is over. That pace car is about to roll. So 8 cars take the grid here at Martinsville for 140 laps. Gonna have 2 laps of the safety car. We are in for a treat here. Martinsville, one of the quickest half miles in the country. Definitely gonna have some hairpin corners here, some hard braking zones, potentially hurt feelings. It's gonna be door banging, tooth and nail racing action here at the paperclip. Rick Helms on the pole, looking to continue his short track dominance. We'll see if he's able to continue on. He's strong in practice, strong in qualifying. Rick Helms in that 75 pink and green Black Arch books. Ford Mustang there. I was going to say Chevy Camaro, but that's up top in row number 2. Pace cars made the hard left turn into the pit lane. Green flag is in the hands of the starter, waiting on Rick Helms to get on it. Green flag is in the air, and the outside lane got a bit more of a start than we would like to see. Craig Davidson has an advantage up on the top side. Rick Helms now under fire. He's in the middle of 3 wide right now with Matt Sisler and Christian Ruse, top and bottom. Ruse is going to be able to, well, not so much. Ruse goes way up next to the wall. He's going to lose a couple of spots there. That puts Matt Sisler up in second. It'll be interesting to see if there's any ruling made on the initial start there for the 9 car, if that was deemed clean. But Rick Helms sits back in 3rd place, not where he wants to be after starting on the pole. You see him diving in deep there, gains a little bit of time there on Matt Sisler, but Matt able to get up off of the corner, and around goes Christian Ruse into the inside wall. That brings out our first caution of the day. Not the way that Christian Ruse wanted to have this one start. We'll take a look to see what happened here. Seems like he's all up on his own. Maybe just got into the throttle a little bit too quick, or maybe a bad timed shift. But yeah, just coming up off of the corner, locks it up. Lets off of the brake. That pushes him into the inside wall, but the caution's going to come out for the stopped car on the front straightaway for the first time today, early on here at Martinsville. 3 laps completed so far. These laps are going to click away, whether it's caution flag or green flag. Got Christian Ruse coming into the pits. Nick Atwood unable to start the race. So it's just 8. Appreciate everybody who's tuning in live here on Sim Racing Media. If you guys are new, go ahead and hit the subscribe and hit the bell, so you never miss a race. We've got phenomenal racing action 7 nights a week. And I think Tuesday we got 4 or 5 different shows. So we've definitely got something that'll tickle your fancy. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Go ahead and drop in your favorite drivers in the chat. We got Big Corn saying, I hate that I'm missing it today. And imagine that's Rooster Rodden. Johnny Williams, good luck all. And hello to the booth. Hello to you, Johnny. Was hoping I could make it, said Red Nick, moving into a new house, has to get the Wi-Fi set up, won't be home in time. Well, we're missing you, Nick. We would love to see you here, but so far these 8 drivers have left us in good hands. Right now we've got 6 out on the racetrack. Obviously we saw Ruse come into the pits after that little bit of contact. Matt Sisler has come into the pits as well. We know he was having some connection issues, so that might be a little bit more of that resulting for Matt Sisler. Christian Ruse out of the pits, stays on the lead lap. Should be getting 1 to green this time around. Yes, sir. Lights are out on the pace car. Craig Davidson going to lead him down. No ill will or bad blood or anything about that in terms of the initial start. 9 Machine's going to be able to hold on to the race lead. Pace truck's going to go, or pace car rather, it's going to go down into the pit lane here, coming into turn number 3, which leaves these guys a little bit of extra time to wonder how they're going to strategize this thing. 7 drivers ready to rock and rumble for 133 more laps. Greg Davidson going to lead him down. Green flag in the air. Davidson with another strong restart. Rick Helms on his outside gets into second very cleanly with only 7 drivers. These guys aren't really going to try to race each other super hard. You know, obviously you want to take away a position where you can, but you know it's not worth the risk. With so few cars out here, the track position game is not going to be as important. However, the track distance game is. You know, you think of a couple of car lengths at a 1.5-mile track, you think of that as, you know, a couple tenths of a second, but 2-3 car lengths at a track like this could be a half a second. You get 10 car lengths on somebody, that's almost half a straightaway. So you see 4 car lengths now separating first and second. Davidson a little bit more cautious, I'd say, on entry, and he's really utilizing the exit of the corner, whereas Rick Helms dives it in deep, gets within a car length or so, but slides up the racetrack. Now Davidson's able to get hard onto the throttle and continue that gap on exit. Definitely interesting to see these differing lines go on here at Martinsville. So there's your race leader, Craig Davidson. Rick Helms, we'll go ahead and go on board with him, try to sit in that gyro cam that moves a little bit up with the banking. We'll see if we can find it. If not, we'll go ahead and just sit on the cockpit. You can see how close he gets in the middle of the corner, but the gap continues to increase on exit. Much better center for Helms that time around. See if he's going to be able to get to the back bumper of Davidson. Meanwhile, Terry Atwood, he's pushing it real hard to try to stay with these top 2. See that 9 car about half a lane up the crew. Differing lines here for these top 2. Look a little bit further back. We've got Christian Ruse trying to recover after the early spin. He sits in 6th place. William Baker's in 7th. Joe Nelson sits in the top 5. Matt Mettler up in 4th place, not too far up off of this top 3, this trio. However, trying to make it a duo with Rick Helms and Craig Davidson. Helms seems to be strong on the bottom side of the racetrack, through and through. Hasn't quite been able to close down enough to make the move, but it looks like he's quicker every time around. If not by just a couple hundredths. Helms able to work that. Oh, and around goes the 24. That's going to bring out the caution for the second time today. Woody Atwood gets loose up off of 2, and we know how hard these cars are to save. Ends up being an overcorrection, gets him up into the wall, gets him turned around. We'll go ahead and take a look to see what happened here. Yeah, just that overcorrection. It's so easy to do. Doesn't look like super hefty contact or damage. It's maybe a little bit of a wall scrape there on the inside. Tough deal for Terry Atwood, but he continues on. It'll be Craig Davidson, Rick Helms, Matt Mettler, Joe Nelson, Christian Ruse, Terry Atwood, and William Baker rounding out the cars in the field. Matt Mettler has gotten back out onto the racetrack. You see him getting one of his laps back there. He's currently 9 laps down, so it's going to be a tough ask for him to get back out here, but these guys might grant him a little bit more gratuity given the fact that there's only 7 cars on the lead lap. And it's obviously no fault of Matt's own to have internet connection issues, and you know, we like to treat that the same as a blown engine here on iRacing. You know, it's one of those deals that's just out of your control. You can be running as quick as you can, or You know, you could be struggling and just get hit by it. Try not to, give the advantage back. We treat it as if it's a blown engine. But with this few cars, I'm sure they'll give him the free pass, any chance that they can. Not try to give him multiple laps back for caution, but we'll see. Currently 8 laps down is Matt Sisler. We've seen 2 quick cautions in the first 20 laps. I don't think it's going to be all impossible for Matt to get those laps back, but it's going to be a real tough ask for him to get 8 cautions without attrition playing into factor here. William Baker gets his damage repaired, comes up off of the pit lane. We'll see if the lights go out this time. Yes, they do. Craig Davidson going to choose the inside. Rick Helms to the outside. Matt Metler on the inside. Joe Nelson jumps to his outside. And then Christian Ruse in 5th place. Terry Atwood. William Baker rounding out the field. So far, Matt Sisler sits a couple of laps, multiple laps behind these guys. He's going to round out the field. Pace car makes that hard left turn once again. 119 laps to go here at Martinsville. Still an endurance for these guys here. Only 8 cars on the track, but it's going to be tough for them as the leaders take the green flag, and another hot restart there for the 9 machine. Craig Davidson, he's going to be able to get himself about a 2-3 car length gap, but Rick Helms strong on entry. Not quite as strong on exit for the first couple of laps on these runs, but that 75 has been strong now within a car length of the 9 machine, Craig Davidson. Yeah, Matt Sisler jumped out of the chat to confirm an internet issue again. Bighorn16 says, yes, I am the Rooster. So we appreciate both of you guys having the stream open. Rooster, we wish we could have seen you here today, but we've got some fantastic racing action going on right now with the 9 car holding out of the race lead. Craig Davidson over Rick Helms right now. Matt Metler sits in 3rd place over Christian Ruse and Terry Atwood, rounding out the top 5. Helms not quite as strong on exit, but he's got every other part of the racetrack figured out compared to the 9 and Craig Davidson. Sisler continues to put on some pace. Currently sitting 6th on track, able to get around Joe Nelson and William Baker. Got a tall order in front of him as he's got 18 laps complete around this time by, compared to 26 for your race leader, Craig Davidson. Davidson still sits about a foot or 2 up off of that inside curbing area, whereas Rick Helms just gets right up next to it, probably 6 inches up off of it. Better drive off for the 9 of Davidson, but Helms not giving up, getting right up to the back bumper on corner entry. Matt Metler, though, not letting these guys get away from him as the 9's able to get a little bit of a gap. Matt Metler is utilizing every inch of the racetrack that he can. He's sitting in 3rd place right in front of Terry Atwood. We know Matt would be ecstatic to finish up on the podium here. He's one of the best talkers in terms of sim racing media, and he's trying to prove to be one of the best racers in terms of the Midday Racing League here. Top 4 still unchanged from the restart. But Helms is chasing down that number 9 machine. He's just unable to get what he needs to on the exit. That's the biggest detriment for the 75. "30 laps complete, going to be 31 this time around. Getting close to the quarter waypoint through this race. Matt Sisler able to get around another one past Christian Ruse. So he's 4th in line, but still 8 laps down. He might be trying to get his laps back the hard way, but tell you what, these 4 up in front of him are fierce competitors. They're going to be tough for him to get around. So once again, Rick Helms gets within a car length of that number 9, but the exit coming up off of turn 2 and turn 4, especially that last time around, really factored, or benefited rather, into the 9's hands. Not so much this time around. Rick Helms stays within 2 car lengths. Gets onto the brakes a little bit earlier than the 9 this time around. Gets himself a strong exit. About a car length up off, but unable to get onto the throttle quite as well as the 9 machine. What he thought about making a move on Mettler for 3rd place. Thought better of it that time around. We'll see if he gets another run coming up on Matt Mettler this time around. Mettler sitting in 3rd place, just off the back bumper of Rick Helms, and that's got to be a really good feeling for Matt. Hasn't always performed as well as his car has in the finishing order of these Midday Racing League races, but Matt sitting in 3rd place right now, right behind who these drivers would proclaim to be this the short track ace, Rick Helms. Helms trying to find a way around the race leader, Craig Davidson, almost 40 laps into this thing. But the exit for that 9 machine has just been so strong. You can see how much that 75 gains on entry, but oh, this time a little bit different. Helms got loose up off of the corner, but still able to stay within 2 car lengths there. We'll go ahead and jump into the cockpit here again. Try to see where these guys are shifting, what the difference is. '75 shifts down pretty much as soon as he gets onto the brakes. Shifts up at the earliest opportunity. But he's utilizing that 3rd gear to kind of engine brake, help him slow down, get turned. Craig Davidson waits until the middle of the corner to use gear 3, utilize that exit speed. But he's not as hard on the downshifts, or not as aggressive, I should say, on the downshifts to try to get that corner entry like Rick Helms is right behind. Look at how close that Ford Mustang gets in the middle of the corner. But that exit speed takes away everything that Rick is able to gain. William Baker just in front of these guys. We'll see how he reacts to the race leaders right behind him. Holding his line. Goes a little bit wide up off of the corner. Davidson down to the inside. He's going to be able to utilize the inside, and now 49 just stays way up out of the way of the top 4. Meanwhile, Matt Sisler was able to get around the 24, put him 4th in line. Still 8 laps down, though. Does the booth think it's harder to win a league race versus an official race? I would say it's probably tougher to win a league race. You race with these guys week in and week out. You start to know what their tendencies are. You know what their strengths are. Whereas if you join an official race, you might jump into a split that has guys that just don't have the same skill level as you. You know, sometimes you join in as the number one car, so you got like a 2000 I rating and a 1500 strength of field. You've probably got an advantage there, whereas when you race these guys week in and week out, it's going to be super tough to make these passes. You know what their tendencies are, you know how they're going to race you, and you know how competitive they're going to be week in and week out. I would almost say it's tougher to race the same guys over and over again than it is to jump into an official race where you might have a completely different field every time. Case in point being Rick Helms. You know, he was super strong at Richmond on the short track, super strong at practice, won the pole, but Craig Davidson was able to get out on the initial start, and Rick's just been unable to get the run up on corner exit to try to make the pass for the lead here. And I feel like Martinsville is a track where you want to have position entering the corner, kind of get that guy up off of the lane he wants to be in. You could certainly use the bumper to get him off the lane he wants to be in, but ideally, if you can get the nose in the braking zone, get that bottom lane established like we might be able to see Rick Helms do here. That's the best exit he's had throughout the course of this run, at least. Breaking that bottom once again. 50 laps complete this time around, but yeah, case in point here, Rick Helms. We know how strong he is on these short tracks. He's just been unable to get around the 9 Craig Davidson. And I think if Davidson didn't know Helms as well as he does, or vice versa, this pass might be a little bit easier to make. Or hey, maybe you'd see him just send it in there, knowing that he doesn't have to see this guy again. Whereas right now in Martinsville, Rick knows he's got to see that 9 car once again next week when we show up at Talladega. Talladega's a track you want to have as many friends as you can. So, to make a long story short, or short story long, this battle for the race lead remains unchanged. Terry Atwood is trying to chase down Matt Mettler, but he's got Matt Sisler up in between them. Sisler was able to get around that 24 machine a couple of laps ago. Now as the tires wear down, these guys racing for position. Now here comes Sisler down to the inside of Mettler. Is Terry going to be able to follow him through? Terry looks to the outside. He's going to try to cut down to get to the inside of Matt Mettler. He's got a nice exit there. Mettler, though, able to match it. I think one of the fun things about short tracks, we take a peek at lap times on the ticker. Absolutely, yeah, let's do that. Appreciate you guys being interactive in the chat. Definitely love to see that, and we'll continue to put on the best show we can for you guys. Dan Fields got the lap times, previous lap times up on the ticker for you, so you can see just how much quicker some of these guys are than most. Matt Sisler with the 20:36 compared to Davidson's 20:31. Rick Helms actually last time around put down the exact same lap to the 1000th as Matt Sisler. So we know Sisler's quick. He's just sitting about 8 laps down right now, which is a tough spot for him to be in. It kind of looks like Helms is toying a bit with Davidson. Last time around, he was just 100th off. The time before that, he was a 10th quicker. So it seems like that 75 is able to run quicker than the 9 machine in front of him. But he's just struggling on that exit. He can't get the nose in down the straightaway. Can't set himself up for the pass quite yet. However, he's only about a car length up off. We know how good Rick Helms has been on the entry to these corners. Now he's got the nose up on inside. Little bit of contact for the race lead. Helms jumps out of the throttle there, and that keeps Craig Davidson out into the race lead. But I tell you what, that 9 is going to think twice about taking such a wide line through 3 and 4 these next times around. So we show you the last laps right now. We'll go ahead and switch it to the best laps. You can see Davidson is already a half a second off of his fastest lap. Helms as well. A lot of these guys are into the 19-second range for their fastest lap. Got a lot of fall off here. 63 laps into this thing, and another lapped car instance right here with the 49. He's going to stay wide and allow the 9 and the 75 to get to his inside. Might be detrimental for Matt Sisler there, but Sisler's still sitting a couple of laps down. He's chased down these race leaders. He's trying to get one of his laps back the hard way. But as we get closer and closer to halfway, it's just looking to be a tougher and tougher ask for that 00 car to get his laps back. Rick Helms looking to the outside of the 9 of Davidson there. That's the best run he's had on corner exit. Now he dives it down to the inside. Going to try to take advantage once again. A little bit of a spin for somebody coming up off of turn 4. No caution comes out though. Go ahead and try to take a look at that when we can. But this race for the lead is heating up. Looks like Joe Nelson is the one who got loose up off of the corner. He sits just in front of your race leaders. Craig Davidson still holds on to the race lead though. He's led every lap from the get-go, and Rick Helms has not let him outside of about 20 feet from bumper to bumper. Nelson falls into the way a little bit there. Allows Helms to get closer to the back bumper of the 9. Look at that 44 diving it deep there. He has to get hard out of the brakes there to keep it out of the wall. Helms looks to the inside. Doesn't quite have enough momentum to make it happen, but he is close. He is there on corner exit. But that exit speed out of the 9 car is just unstoppable so far. But show you the top 5 as the intervals run. Helms is 3/10 up off of the race lead, and then it's 3 seconds back to Terry Atwood. Woody's sitting on the podium, but not quite with the speed he wants to race with these top 2. Matt Mettler sits in 4th place. Christian Ruse trying to chase Matt Mettler down, recovering from an early spin. Matt seems to be struggling a bit on these longer runs, and the caution has just come out. Matt Sisler has crashed along with Rick Helms down the front straightaway. Joe Nelson, I believe, got a piece of it as well. Okay, so that was the earlier Joe Nelson incident. We'll take a look at Rick Helms now. Drives it in deep, trying to catch up to the 9. Hits that curb. Oh no, he overcorrected right in front of Matt Sisler. Oh, and Sisler jumps up in front of Joe Nelson. That's where Joe Nelson got that piece of it. Tell you what, though. Everybody's into the pits. Greg Davidson, Terry Atwood, Matt Metler, Christian Roos, Rick Helms. All of your lead lap drivers are in the pits right now. Just past halfway, going to be 75 laps complete as these guys come across the line. Craig Davidson leads them into the pits. He's going to take 4 tires and a full tank of fuel. Rick Helms, well, he was the pole sitter there. He was involved in that crash. Thought he was getting out in maybe a 2-tire situation, going to get out first, but being involved in the crash, a little bit late to the pits. Well, while we have a moment here, we're going to go ahead and step away, take a little side-by-side break. We'll be right back with the restart. Apologies, we were not back for the restart, but Davidson leads over Atwood, Metler, Roos, and Helms. Has gotten his way back up into 5th, but Matt Sisler still one lap or multiple laps down. Sits in between the top 5. Atwood try to work to the top side now. Trying to figure out how to utilize the exit of the corner there. The outside seems to be the best way to go. You cut down to the inside. Matt Metler locks up the brakes big time. Christian Roos and Rick Helms going to be able to get advantage of that. Take advantage of it and get the position, rather. So put Rick Helms up into 4th. Terry Atwood is all over the back bumper of the 9, Craig Davidson. Davidson has led basically every lap so far. Anybody going to be able to knock on the 9's back bumper here today? As you see that 24 go a little bit wide, Christian Roos tries to take advantage, but also follows him a little wide. Roos getting right up to the back bumper of that number 24, though. Looks down to the inside. Look at this. He's going to make a pass to the inside as Roos gets over to the wall. So does Sisler. Rick Helms behind these guys. Kind of nowhere to be seen at the moment. He's lost a ton of time to these race leaders. Unfortunate for the 4th place car, Rick Helms. 84 laps in out of 140. These guys obviously just came in to make their pit stop, so you know they can make it to the end. But Rick Helms, after sitting in second for so long, he's got a tough gap to overcome with over 5 seconds to the race leader, Craig Davidson, in the 9. That's a heck of a lot more than the 200 yards he had to make up beforehand. Last time around, Roos a little bit quicker, though. He goes way wide going through 1 and 2 there, and now Terry Atwood's going to have a chance to get down to the inside. Atwood looks down to the inside, trying to outbreak him. Going to have the groove, the preferred line. He's going to be able to complete that pass, but a 1.5 seconds now separates second from first place, and a huge lockup out of Atwood. That's going to put Christian Roos right back in. Christian Roos back into second place. After a huge lockup by Terry Atwood there, takes him out of the second place, puts him back into third. Matt Sisler, meanwhile, still waiting in the wings behind these guys, waiting in the wind. Hoping for about 8 more cautions to get his laps back, but it's going to be a real tough ask with that 00. 50 laps to go next time by for Craig Davidson, who's got a 1.3 second lead over Christian Roos. The gap is shortening just a little bit. Roos is quicker these last couple times around. That's going to be a tough gap to make up. I know it's 50 laps, but with how hard you guys are on, or with how hard these guys are on the brakes, use up a lot of tire. You don't want to end up using up the whole race car here before the end of the race. Just want to say thanks to everybody who's watching here live on Sim Racing Media's YouTube. Go ahead and hit the subscribe. Hit the bell, hit the like button for the show. But yeah, hit that bell so you never miss a race. We've got fantastic racing action 7 nights a week live on Sim Racing Media. And tell you what, Tuesday nights we've got 5, I believe 4 or 5 different shows. So there's going to be something to tickle your fancy. We've got you guys covered here on Sim Racing Media, whether you're looking for short track racing, 1.5 mile, super speedways, or dirt. We've got it covered. We even do road racing, endurance racing. So, yeah, if you guys are bored on a... oh, Matt Sisler getting sideways coming up off of the corner. Great save there by Matt. But yeah, if you guys are bored on weekday nights or even weekend nights, go ahead and tune into Sim Racing Media. And if you've got a league you'd love to see broadcasted, we have got one of the best, if not the best, group of guys. We'll get a good crew together to cover your show, to cover your weekly league. And, we would love to have you on board here with the Sim Racing Media family. The Midday Racing League has been super kind to us, and they've put on absolutely incredible racing. So if you guys are impressed with what you see, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit us up if you want to see your league broadcasted, and hey, maybe hit these guys up if you want to race with them on Friday afternoons or right around noontime. Tell you what, Christian Roos has really chased down the lead. Was a 1.5 seconds. Now it's 3/4 of a second. Lap car coming up in front of these guys, likely the 49 of Baker. And Baker goes way wide as we ride on the nose of Christian Ruse as he closes down on Craig Davidson in front of him. Six tenths of a second is the separation here between the race lead and second place. And I tell you what, Terry Atwood has not given up anything to these guys. They stand right within the 4 to 5 car length gap of the 14 in front of them as the 14 chases down your race leader, Craig Davidson. Well, we're going to go ahead and do a quick turn it up session, let you guys hear your favorite sounds from your favorite drivers. We'll be right back. Well, the top four has definitely heated up. Rick Helms is within a second of the race lead now. Chased all of these guys down, and we see a battle for second starting to heat up with Terry Atwood trying to figure out a way around Christian Ruse. Ruse has gotten within about half a second of your race leader, Craig Davidson, but is kind of stalled out at that point. You see that 24 machine of Atwood. Gets a nice run, looks down to the inside, gonna try to take away second place, locks up the brakes, slides up, gets into Christian. Christian goes around. That's gonna bring out the caution for the third time today. Well, we saw that happen right in front of us here. I'm gonna go ahead and take another look to see what happened here. It looks like the 24, he's gonna get the run coming down the back straightaway. Harder on the brakes there. You see him lock it up on the entry. Gets back into it. Locks it up once again. Just slides into the 14. Helms down on the inside. Gonna get around both of them. See with the scoring loops. And yeah, Rick Helms is gonna take away second place. Christian Ruse, after contact with Terry Atwood, backs it up into the fence. Atwood comes into the pits to get some more of that damage looked at. Matt Medler as well, also coming into the pits along with Matt Sisler and Christian Ruse as well. Likely some fresh tires on these cars. Greg Davidson still leads. We got Rick Helms in second, Terry Atwood in third. Ruse, Metler, Baker, and Sisler on the pit lane. We'll go ahead and take a quick break here. We'll be right back here for the restart. Promise it'll be a quicker commercial. Pace car's making that hard left turn once again, and we are seeing the 1-2 being Craig Davidson and Rick Helms once again. Green flag going to come out. 30 laps remaining. It's about 26 at the line. Green flag, a hard, strong, a restart there for Davidson. Rick Helms locks up the brakes, goes a little bit wide. That's going to allow Terry Atwood to look down to the inside, but doesn't quite have enough to get down to the inside. Now he's going to dive it down in, locks up the brakes just a little bit, goes a little wide. Doesn't allow Matt Metler to get down to his inside, but almost did. Matt Metler dives it down in deep. These guys on fresh tires going to have cold tires, not so cold brakes, but these tires will be susceptible to locking up. Davidson holds on to the race lead though, and he's continuing to gap that 75 behind him. Terry Atwood touches the wall there a little bit. That's going to give Matt Metler the inside, get him a chance to get to third place. 23 to go, and Terry Atwood gets sideways big time. Locks it up, saves it. Huge save there for Terry Atwood. See Baker locking up in front of him. Atwood will get right back by. That's not for position. Terry sits in 5th place. Meanwhile, Matt Metler is all over the back bumper. Hard into the wall was Matt Sisler there coming up off of turn 4. Not sure what caused that potential overcorrection there. That seemed like a really hefty contact. Here comes Metler down to the inside of Rick Helms. A little bit of contact made with Metler and Helms. It's going to give Ruse the chance to get down to the inside. Rick Helms went from 2nd place chasing down the leader to now he's in 4th place. Trying to find a way around with 20 laps to go. Greg Davidson has led every lap from the get-go. Started in 2nd place. Was able to get in front of Rick Helms on the initial start. And now Christian Ruse all over the back bumper of Matt Metler. Now here comes Helms out of the inside of Ruse. Helms utilizing that downshift into the corner. It's really helped him on entry, but the exit has been killer. Matt Mettler chasing down Craig Davidson with 18 laps to go. Mettler looking for his first win on the season. Has a run down to the inside. Not quite enough of exit speed to get it done. And now Christian Ruse looks down to the inside. Matt Mettler comes off the block. He locks it up. Able to keep the 14 behind him, though, and gets a strong exit. Stays within a car length of the 9 in front of him. Looks down to the inside. Davidson covers the block. Mettler trying to find a way around, trying to utilize a different line. He stays within half a car length now, and he's got that 9 worrying. Gonna be 16 to go this time around, and Christian Ruse dives it in deep, gets close to the back bumper of Matt Mettler, now looks down to the inside once again. Mettler covers it off. Is he gonna lock it up and slide up? Not this time. He's got a really good entry there. About a car length off of the race leader, coming to 15 laps to go this time by. The top 4 is under a blanket. Craig got a little bit loose there coming up off of the corner. Mettler was able to stay within a car length there, but still trying that wider line. Shallower exit there for the exit speed. That seems to be helping him compared to what Rick Helms was doing. Helms super strong on entry, and you can see him chase down Christian Ruse there. Ruse down to the inside of Mettler once again. This time Mettler can't cover it. They both lock up. They both go way wide. Here comes Helms down to the inside of Mettler, and sideways goes Ruse. Big crash down the back straightaway. Rick Helms hard into the inside wall. So both guys lock it up on entry here. Ruse gets sideways coming up off of the corner. Helms has nowhere to go but into the door. Hits the inside wall a hefty amount. Christian Ruse also with major damage. Matt Mettler got a piece of it as well. Matt Sisler. Might just be Terry Atwood and Craig Davidson who got away without a hit. Sisler coming into pit. Mettler stays out. Craig Davidson has been out in front of the trouble all day. Ruse able to get out without losing a lap. Lights still on the pace car. We got 5 of them on the lead lap. Craig Davidson, Matt Mettler, Terry Atwood, Rick Helms, and Christian Ruse. William Baker sitting on the pits. He's got some damage. Also a lap down. Matt Sisler got some damage repaired. He sits 9 laps down now. Joe Nelson and Nick Atwood out of the race. Joe Nelson made it to lap 74. Nick Atwood, due to some internet issues, was unable to start the race with us. But we definitely appreciate him joining us in the chat, hanging out with us here to watch this fantastic action at Martinsville, and we're about ready to see how it finishes. Lights are off on the pace car. Craig Davidson's going to lead them down. There's going to be 8 laps to go at the restart. 5 cars with a chance at the win, at least on the lead lap. Matt Sisler sitting in between Christian Ruse and the top 4. We'll see how bad the damage is on the 93 machine on the front end after getting caught up in that. Craig Davidson, he's led it from the get-go. Can he bring it home? 8 laps to go with the restart. Green flag is in the air and a phenomenal start from the inside. That's going to give Terry Atwood a chance to get up into second. Everybody's locking up, going a little bit wide there. Everybody but your race leader, Davidson. That's going to give Terry Atwood the chance to get clear of Matt Medler. Medler dives it in deep. He locks up big time. Holds it down on the bottom. He's going to be able to take second place. Here comes the 24 to the outside. Got a little bit loose there. Now Rick Helms looks down to the inside. Matt Medler locking up once again. So does the 24, trying to keep it off the back bumper there. Rick Helms looking down to the inside of Medler for second place. Everybody's locking up but the race leader. 6 laps to go this time by. Craig Davidson is loving all this calamity in his mirror as Matt Medler now sits in second place. Going to try to chase him down. Rick Helms, the best on entry all day, right behind Medler. Medler dives it in deep. They all lock it up, and now here comes Atwood down to the inside. We're 3 wide of Martinsville. Around goes Rick Helms. Caution has come out once again. Christian Ruse might have gotten a piece of that, gotten sideways, but Rick Helms turned around for the second time in as many cautions. These guys got 3 wide coming up off of turn 4. Medler locks it up on the top side of Helms, and contact is just made. See Matt come completely on the brakes. He stops entirely to try to avoid all this contact, but there's nothing he could do. So now we're looking at overtime. Craig Davidson leads over Terry Atwood, Christian Ruse, Matt Medler, Rick Helms, William Baker, Matt Sisler, Joe Nelson, rounding out the cars who started the race. Nick Atwood made an attempt to start the race. Unfortunately, some internet issues kept him out of it. We'll see NASCAR overtime. It'll be a green-white checker. So the green will come out with 2 laps to go. And if they make it to the white flag, cautions don't happen. If a caution comes out before the white flag, they rack it up, they try it again. So we'll see what we see here. We know Craig Davidson has been phenomenal on the starts and restarts all day. But can somebody behind him get an equal restart? Maybe bump him out of the way? Or is Craig Davidson just going to drive away with this thing like he has all day so far? Still got a couple of guys in the pits coming up out of here. You see Matt Sisler just getting out in front of these guys. So we'll wait an extra lap before we go 1 to green. Six cars on the lead lap. William Baker has made it back onto the lead lap. We saw him get lapped a couple of times by your race leaders. Through these cautions here at the end, he's been able to get back onto the lead lap. And as we hit 1 to green, it'll be interesting to see if that number 49 machine can make up a couple spots. But right now we've got 3 to go. It's going to be 2 to go at the line, 2 to go at the green. Craig Davidson has just over a mile to try to keep these guys behind him. But you know Terry Atwood's going to be hungry. Christian Ruse, Rick Helms. Helms has been strong all day, sits on the outside in fourth. Man, 2 laps. That's not a lot of time here at Martinsville. That pace car's made the hard left turn. Craig Davidson going to be hard on the throttle here. Everybody's ready for it, but Davidson, better than everybody else, gets a couple of car lengths of a gap. Here comes Christian Ruse down to the inside for second place over Terry Atwood. These guys stay side by side coming up off of 2. Terry Atwood hard into the wall. He stays up there. Matt Medler goes around, hits Rick Helms. The caution comes out once again. Not quite sure how that happened. This guy's trying to avoid. Oh, Metler just hits the wall trying to turn back to the right. Bounces off. Hits Helms hard. Rick Helms. Huge hit to the outside wall. That's a lot of damage for that 75 to overcome, as you saw him try to get back into the gas like he normally does, and just can't turn it the way he wants to there. Craig Davidson, Christian Ruse, and William Baker's gotten himself up to third. That's your top 3 right now, as Terry Atwood, Matt Medler, and Rick Helms are all in the pits after being involved in that accident. Matt Sisler says, I made a mistake, guessed, get through, hit the outside wall. So that explains the wall contact you saw with that 00. Appreciate Matt jumping up into the chat, letting us know how his race is going. We obviously wish you were able to spend a bit more time on the track and less in the chat, but we appreciate every time you jump up in here with us. Going to be another attempt at a green-white checker. Craig Davidson has been phenomenal on restarts all day long. Can Christian Ruse try to match him coming up off of turn number 4 when they get into the zone? Can he get clear for second place? Can he try to get down and make something happen? Matt Sisler says, I love this. I'm multiple laps down, and I love this race, and that's awesome to hear from these competitors. Martinsville is one of the most fun tracks you can go to just because so many things happen. It's super tough to race these guys because, you know, if you're not in a league, you can't really account for anybody's braking zone. But, you know, you come in, you league race with these guys, you race at Martinsville, even with 9 cars showing up, 8 cars to start. It's been an absolute thriller. It's been an absolute blast. And I tell you what, we got just over a mile to go here. Provided we don't get another caution, we'll see. But Craig Davidson trying to lead them back around. Green flag out once again. Craig Davidson on the throttle. He's got himself a huge gap back to Christian Ruse. Top 5 separated fairly quickly, but Ruse doing everything he can to try to chase down that 9 in front of him. Huge entry for Christian Ruse, goes way wide, way up the racetrack. White flag is in the air for Craig Davidson. Right now it's Davidson, Ruse, and Baker. Doesn't look like Ruse is going to be able to get close enough, but he's going to try. He gets within a car length. Getting down into turns 3 and 4, and he's got a huge run coming up off there, side by side up off the corner, and Craig Davidson's going to win the race. Christian Ruse, by just under a 1/10 of a second, finishes second place after a phenomenal turns 3 and 4 on the last lap, and William Baker, who would have thought it, 49 car getting lapped a couple of times early on, comes away with a podium finish. Go ahead and jump through your race results here. Craig Davidson gets the job done. We'll watch him burn it down in the background. Christian Ruse, William Baker, Terry Atwood, Matt Metler, Rick Helms, Matt Sisler, and Joe Nelson round out the field. Nick Atwood did his best to make the race. Unfortunately, some internet issues took him out of it. But look at that 9, Craig Davidson. He's burning it down. Try to get Craig up into a chat so we can talk with him. But we got Christian Ruse. Oh, so close to a race win here. I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and bring Christian up in here into the booth. Christian, we're still waiting on Craig to get up into the booth here, but you're ready for the interview. You finished second place, and I tell you what, it got super close there in that last corner. Do you think you could have got him there, or do you think he might have been playing with you?
I definitely could have got him. I made a bonehead mistake. First lap of the green-white checkered there. I money shifted it halfway down the backstretch, went from third to second instead of third to fourth. If I would have had a run, I definitely think I would have got him, fresh tires and all.
Yeah, you definitely put on a good run there. Those fresh tires helped you out at the end. Kind of walk us through your whole race, though. I mean, it was not easy for you. We saw you get sideways a couple of times, but you still come away with second.
Yeah, early, I think it was lap 2, 3, something like that. I looped her around, and I just felt stupid there. Able to get damage fixed from that, and then later on in the run there, me and Matt and Rick and Craig were all running hard up front, and I knew there was no way I was going to get past Matt without moving him, but that is not how I wanted to do it. I just got in there super hot, locked him up, moved him out of the way, and then I tried to get back in the gas out of 2, and it looped around on me again, and I caught Rick up in that, and I felt terrible for everyone involved. That was just a dumb move on my part. The incident with Terry, same thing. He got in there hot. It is what it is. Matt was very gracious. I apologize to him, and he said it best. It's short track racing. Unfortunately, that's just par for the course here. I'm just really happy to finish here with a top 3.
Yeah, top 3 indeed, but you come home second. A little bit better than the initial podium standings. Who do you want to thank for such a strong run here today?
I want to thank Smoke Pit, 1-3 Speed, Lafler Labor Services, Extreme Automotive Detailing, you guys for putting on the broadcast for us, everyone else here in the league who showed up today, who shows up week in and week out. I run the league, but they're the ones that really kind of keep it going, showing up week in, week out, wanting to do the races and everything. Shout out to Craig. He put on a great show today. I wish I had one more lap. I could have beat him there, but no, just thanks to everyone that was watching too. And again, thanks to you for putting on the show every week. It's a great time.
Absolutely, Christian. Thank you for putting on such a great league, and to kind of hammer down on what you said. Thanks to the chat. There was a pretty active chat. Guys were asking questions, trying to get some different information, so we love to see that. Love to have an interactive chat. And Christian, thanks for putting on such a great league.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
That was Christian Ruse, second place finisher. We're going to go ahead and bring in the race winner, Craig Davidson. I tell you what, Craig, I was kind of nervous about that initial start, but it seemed clean. Those guys gave you the A-OK, and you didn't look back from there. Craig, talk us through your race.
Yeah, man, honestly, I lost words. Never led a race flag like that before. Restarts I think were real key. I was just able to seemed like got to jump on everybody every time. You know, it's a big advantage when you're leading and you have control of that start. So that's one of the reasons I didn't want to pit late and give that up, because I was having such success with that.
I mean, you put on a clinic, you led from start to finish, even through your pit stop, you're able to get it done. You had the 75 all up on your back bumper, though, for it seemed like the entire first half of the race. Were you nervous about him potentially getting to you, or were you just
Yeah,
kind
you
of
know,
playing your own game there?
no, I thought he was playing with me, really. You know, he was by far the fastest car all through practice and qualifying. So I was surprised I was able to, kind of jump out in front of him and hold it. But right before I guess that caution about midway, that we all took pit stops, he was really starting to put pressure on me. I don't think I was going to be able to hold him off too much longer. I was starting to kind of get loose off the turns. But yeah, he was definitely making me nervous the whole race. And then Christian at the end there, I was on old tires. Everybody else, was able to get fresher tires, and well, I think we had two green white checkers, and the longer it went, the less chance I thought I'd have to hold it off. But had just enough left to get it done.
Yeah, walk us through that last green-white checker there. I mean, you had a very light field behind you, but you had Christian Ruse fighting super hard there. William Baker with the recovery of the season so far, going down a couple of laps, finishes third. Were you nervous there on that last restart?
Yeah, I was trying to balance, pushing it but not pushing too hard, because I was on, I don't know, maybe 70, 80 lap old tires. And it was starting to get a little bit more loose, coming off the corners. So I was trying not to push it too hard to where I'd spin it and, lose my whole race. But yet, still had to put enough into it to hold Christian off there. And, coming out of 4 there on the last lap, had just enough. He got a good run on me, because I was taking it kind of easy, being careful not to spin out, but able to pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, you put on a show. I mean,
Yeah, I don't really know where it
here.
came from. I'm usually horrible on short tracks, so
So
yeah.
your last pit stop came at lap 74 compared to Christian Ruse at 128. He had 54 lap fresher tires than you. So there's that stat for you. You held him off on 54 lap fresher tire or older tires.
Yeah, I some of it was car setup too. I took some notes from the old Rick Helms there after Richmond with the brake bias deal. So I tried to, follow some notes from him, and went with a way low brake bias, and I think that really helped the tires, and it really helped the car handle. I mean, the car was handling great the whole race. I was able to just keep it glued to the bottom all the time.
Yeah, you put on a clinic today. Phenomenal race. Is there anybody you want to thank for such a strong run today?
Yeah, just as always, I want to thank Christian for keeping this league together and putting it on every week, and also you guys for broadcasting. Hopefully we can get some more cars out here at some point, make it a little more interesting for you as the broadcaster and whatever viewers we have. So, if you happen to see this, come out and race it with us. It's a great group of people, clean racing, a lot of fun.
It certainly is. It was a blast to watch, even with just 8 cars and super clean stuff. We only saw maybe 1 or 2 contact incidents, but yeah, we appreciate you joining us here, Craig. Congratulations once again on the race win. Go ahead and celebrate.
Yeah, gotta go recover, man. I'm not used to having to drive that hard for an entire race. I'm usually kind of a mid-pack guy, so I can kind of take it easy sometimes.
Well, you're the winner here today at the Paperclip at Martinsville. We appreciate you joining us here, Craig.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
That's gonna about do it for us here today. This was an absolute thriller. We'll go ahead and go through the results one more time. Greg Davidson gets the job done over Christian Ruse. William Baker finished third. Unable to get with him for the podium interview, but we appreciate him showing up, and a phenomenal run for him. A good recovery. Terry Atwood up in fourth. Matt Medler in fifth. We got Rick Helms, Matt Sisler, Joe Nelson, and Nick Atwood. Tried to start the race, unable to get it done with the internet connection issue. But always appreciate him showing up and everybody showing up. Appreciate you guys up in the chat. Very interactive chat today. We appreciate that. And yeah, I guess I don't know what else to say. It's been a phenomenal race. It was a phenomenal day, and Greg Davidson able to get the job done. That's going to about do it for us here on Sim Racing Media. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss a race. We'll go ahead and we'll catch you next time. That'll actually probably be tonight for the Monsters of Speed Racing League. I believe at 8:30 Eastern or 9:30 Eastern. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next time.